Hey guys, what's going on? It's John with FLO. Back in 2017, we released news that we're going to be designing a gravel wheel, and then we went silent. So today we want to start updating you on that journey. We're not ready to release a gravel wheel yet, but we want to get you up to speed and then take you along for the rest of the ride before we release the wheels. So we've been designing wheels since 2012. Chris and I started the company back then. And every wheel that we designed from the ground up with a clean slate. And we wanted to do the exact same thing when we designed a gravel wheel. So when designing a road wheel, one of the main things that we always look at is aerodynamics. If we can make a wheel aerodynamic for road and tri, the wheel is fast. But what we really wanted to consider for gravel was what were the components, what were the design characteristics that we really needed to take into consideration to make a gravel wheel fast, to make a great gravel wheel. And we came up with three things. So those three things are the following. The first is rolling resistance. So based on some previous work and some previous studies that we had done with road wheels, we realized that rolling resistance had a much larger component to speed reduction than we had originally thought. So what we wanted to consider was, could we design a rim or a wheel that would allow us to reduce rolling resistance, and how could we optimize a rim for rolling resistance? So that's one thing that we really wanted to consider when designing gravel wheels. The second component was aerodynamics. Now, in a road situation, it's pretty straightforward. You have a pretty smooth tire, and you have a rider that goes at a significant speed. And so aerodynamics there is very important. When you look at a gravel bike, there are a couple questions that are really raised, and these were things that we really wanted to look into. The first is, does gravel cycling as a whole, and for the gravel cyclist, does aerodynamics really matter? And so we wanted to look at that and study that, and we've done some work on that, and we have some pretty cool information. The other thing that we wanted to consider was the tires. So if you look at the tire of a gravel bike, there are two things that really start to make designing a gravel rim or gravel wheel difficult. The first is the size. So in a road bike, you're getting up now to 28-32C. Those are pretty big road tires. But in gravel, if you look at a 650B size wheel, you can be up to 47C, which is a huge tire. On a 700C rim, you can be modestly now pretty much a 35C tire. And that has a big impact on the way the air moves around the tire, the airflow. The second component of the tires that is significant is the tread pattern. So not like a road tire that's smooth. I mean, road tires are smooth, but when you look at a gravel wheel, it's a very aggressive tread pattern. There's big knobs and a lot of things that basically trip up air and make it difficult to design something aerodynamically. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to study what we could do with a rim and tires and understand, could we make an aerodynamic rim for a gravel cyclist? And if we could prove that aerodynamics mattered for a gravel cyclist and we could design a rim, then we really wanted to incorporate that into the design. The third thing we wanted to consider was the material that the rim's made from. So if you look at a road bike, today carbon fiber is pretty much the go-to standard. There are really great carbon fibers. There's been excellent progression in epoxy resins that go into those, and so you make a great wheel that's for road. But what we really wanted to consider and look at was, if we're going to go to gravel, the conditions get a lot more aggressive. You get a lot more bumps, a lot more varying terrain. And did we need to do something to the material to make a really great, really strong, impact resistant gravel rim? So that's something that really wanted to look into. So those are the three things that we really wanted to consider. And one thing that we wanted to do when we looked at designing gravel wheels was we really wanted to start from scratch. And so most gravel wheels that you see today are a repurposed mountain bike rim, repurposed cyclocross rim, or something like that. And that's not what we wanted to do at all. If we're going to design a gravel wheel, we wanted to design something completely unique, something that the industry hasn't seen. And we've come up with some really cool stuff that we're really excited to share. we've got some pending patents and some things that we just never even expected we would get to, and a lot of great news coming up. And so what we're going to do is each week we're going to spend some time with you guys and give you some updates with where we are and take you the rest of the ride all the way to the release of the gravel wheels. So check out the next installment next week, which is going to be learning and understanding the importance of tire pressure in designing a gravel wheel. And we hope to see you then.